Test. Hi guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial. If you are new, subscribe. 100 subscribers is almost done. I upload everyday video. Today in this tutorial we're gonna build procedural mountain shader. It's gonna be very cool, but you must follow the steps because I'm gonna give you the values, okay? So I am in Blender, as you can see. I'm gonna select this cube by the left click X and delete. Shift A. On the measure I'm gonna choose plane. Open this side window. And I'm gonna on the size tab 1000 meters, okay, and click enter. I'm gonna zoom out by the scroll of the mouse, and as you can see we got some problem because we don't see the whole plane. So just click N and go on this third right here socket or whatever, and on the end just tap right here extra 0, okay, and enter. And as you can see, now we can see whole fucking plane. And once again click N to hide this window. Now select your plane, go to the edit mode by clicking tab, right click and choose subdivide, and tab right here 100 subdivision and enter. And once again click tab to go to the object mode. You wanna go to the modifiers right here on this icon and select subdivision surface, and you can go on the second right here option and you can tag something like maybe 2 or 3 subdivision, however, whatever you want, and basically right here and choose apply. Now you have your fucking plane. I'm gonna drag this right here, this timeline up, and I'm gonna change this to shader editor. But first we must change the engine, so go right here on this icon and basically just change to the cycles right here, and I'm gonna lower the value because my PC is shit, and I'm gonna add adaptive sampling right here, and you can open denoiser, add right here denoiser, change this to this last denoiser, and on the viewport add automatically. Now we are fucking ready to go, I think. Select your plane right here on this icon, of course change to the shader editor on this window and click new. But first one more step, just go on this tab, on the material tab, okay, on this icon, and we must change basically the settings right here, and you have bump only, you wanna choose displace and bump, and now we are ready to go. We are ready to build on the shader editor those nodes. So like I said, you must tap those values to work this. So Shift A, I'm gonna choose search for the displacement right here, and I'm gonna just connect displacement to the displacement on the output. I'm gonna make it bigger just to show you right here. You can search those nodes, like I said, Shift A, yes, and you have this search kind of bar, and you just search displacement to displacement. Now Shift A, you wanna search for the on the textures Voronoi texture, and you wanna duplicate basically just wait guys, on the scale at 0.05 and click enter, and you wanna just duplicate this. So Shift D and duplicate this Voronoi texture with this value, yes, with this scale. We're gonna need math nodes, so Shift A, search for the math, and basically you wanna duplicate this math node too, so Shift D and duplicate this. Now select your Voronoi texture and click Ctrl T to add mapping and textures coordinate. If you don't have this kind of shortcuts working, just go to the edit preferences, of course, and on the add-ons just search for the Wrangler or whatever node Wrangler, and just click right here, choose save preferences and exit this. Once again select this Voronoi texture, Ctrl T to add this mapping and textures coordinate. If you don't want to use this Wrangler add-on, just Shift A and mapping and Shift A textures coordinate and connect mapping to the vector, and right here from the textures coordinate, wait guys, from the textures coordinate we're gonna choose from object, we're gonna connect from object to the mapping. So select object and just drag this to the mapping, and on the mapping we must change the scale. So hold Shift and just on the hold left click and just drag the left click on those three values on the scale, and just tap the value 0.1 and click enter. This is very cool trick, just holding shift and selecting those three values, and you can tap whatever value you want on those three right here directions. Yes. So on the scale 0.1. Now we're gonna play around on this Voronoi texture. So the sphere is Voronoi texture that mapping goes, yes, mapping goes to the Voronoi texture. You wanna change from F1 to basically distance to edge, and you wanna connect this Voronoi texture, this distance to edge, to the math node right here, and change this to multiply, and you have the value. We're gonna change to 0.2 and click enter. I'm gonna show you the result if I'm gonna finish basically, because it's almost done. Now the second Voronoi texture, basically you wanna connect mapping to the second Voronoi texture too, okay? And this, we must mix those two Voronoi textures together. So just add this multiply to this math node, yes, this first Voronoi texture and math node. This multiply goes to the another math node, and the second Voronoi texture from distance just tap right here to the second value. And this is just, you know, one tree. We're gonna build more trees in the Windows tutorial, so whatever. Shift A, you wanna search for RGB curve, and you wanna connect this second math node that we mix in those two Voronois together. This math node goes to the color right here, and these RGB curves go to the height. And on this RGB curves, you just change a little bit, something like this, to have this kind of curve, yes, right here or whatever. And I'm gonna try to show you the results. Basically, if I'm gonna just click on the render view right here, my PC gonna lag in, sorry for that, but you don't gonna see shit, okay? It's gonna be shit. Look, oh, nothing's happened. And I'm gonna go back, come on, because we must bump the scale. The scale must be something like 200 right here on this fucking displacement. And if I'm gonna just do this, as you can see, we got some mountains. And if you have this kind of gray stuff, basically the idea is, wait guys, because my PC is lagging, I'm 100% sure. You just clicking right here on the render view. Maybe I'm gonna show you on the render view, and you have this icon below. So first click on the render view and click on this icon and deselect this world scene, and you're gonna choose some HDR built in Blender, and you're gonna see more basically, yes. So I'm gonna, as you can see, wait guys, I'm just selecting and I'm gonna go back. I hope my PC is not lagging now. And I'm gonna show you because I'm just changing on those settings. So right here, and as you can see, I have some HDR built in Blender. So we got this kind of results. This is just base, okay? So we're gonna basically, I'm gonna move this mapping and textures coordinate, because we're gonna use those two later on. And I'm gonna just create some selection with this RGB curves and with those two Voronois. So select those nodes basically by the left click right here, something like that, and Control J and create this kind of box. You can rename this by F2, I don't know, some kind of base or mountain or whatever. So there is that. Now we're gonna build some rocks to this. So Shift A, search for the Voronoi texture once again, and Shift A, search for the noise texture, basically noise texture, and duplicate the noise texture. So Shift D to duplicate this. I'm gonna give you a cool patent, but we're gonna need Shift A, once again, math node, okay, so math, and Shift A, we're gonna need color ramp. So search for the color ramp right here. Now, cool patent is like you can hold Alt and right click from the mapping if you have node Wrangler to connect mapping to this fucking node. So holding Alt and right click, you can connect this three noises that we searching to mapping. Yes, mapping you can connect to those three noises. Yes, this Voronoi texture and those two noises. So once again, Alt and right click, you can connect those. Now to the vector, of course. We're gonna change on the fucking Voronoi texture from the F1 to distance to edge once again, and we're gonna scale basically something like 0.4. And you're gonna connect this to the math node right here, but first maybe duplicate this math node, so Shift D to duplicate this, and this Voronoi just connect to this math node and change on the math node to multiply, and we're gonna lower the value something like 0.3. Okay, I'm gonna show you the results later. I can't show you right now what kind of nodes doing. If you wanna see, basically just click, hold control and left click, and on the render view you're gonna see the result on those nodes. Now on this noise texture, if I remember correctly, we're gonna add value like 0.4 to 0.4 on the scale, and we're gonna leave like that everything. Now we're gonna connect this noise texture to this color ramp. So connect factor to the factor on the color ramp, and on the color ramp just drag this right value something like 0.45 or 0.5, something like that, and this white value just tab like 0.55, something like this. Yes, you have this kind of value. Now we must duplicate this color ramp, so Shift D to duplicate this. And on the second noise texture, right here, noise texture, just on the scale tab 0.1. So this is the second noise texture, and it's gonna be racks on this mountain basically. Yes, on those mountains. So noise texture once again goes factor to this color ramp, and we must mix those three basically together. So we must basically just connect this color ramp to this fierce math node. I'm sorry, I am fucking sleepy. And the second color ramp goes to the second value of the math node. Yes, so we got this kind of tree, and we must basically just mix those two together. Shift A, search for another math node, and basically you just connecting this first math node and the second math node right here, and you want to choose right here multiply, and right here multiply 2, if I remember correctly. And basically we're gonna need another math node, a lot of math nodes in this one. So Shift A, search for the math, and we must connect right here this RGB curve, this fierce mountain, and this is the rocks. So connect this RGB to this math node, and this math node that we connecting all this shit to this second goes to the math node right here. And we're not gonna change this to multiply, but we're gonna leave like to add. So it's a little bit complicated, but it's a little bit simple at the same time. Strange fucking sentence, whatever. So what you can do, you can basically just select those nodes and click Ctrl J to add this box, and you can rename this something like rocks 1 or whatever. So that's it for today. I think I do this correctly. If I'm I wanna show you basically what this do? Yes. So I'm gonna just click Control and left click to this fucking math node. Wait guys, right here. This creates this kind of rocks on this fucking mountain, if that makes sense. I can't show the results because I'm fucking sure like my PC is lagging. But if you're gonna just click right here, you're gonna see some kind of rocks popping on those fucking mountain. That's it for today. In the next tutorial, we're gonna build more to this, of course, and it's gonna be cool to add some shader stuff, so it's gonna look cool. Okay guys, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Follow